Hi everyone, welcome to Wonder Boys Collectibles. Today we'll be reviewing the ZD Toys Mark III. And without further ado, let's go! As usual, if you want to hear me rant about a figure, feel free to skip to the end of the video, but I will include a bunch of timestamps for your reference. Now without further ado, let's unbox this. But before that, let's have a look at the box first. So as you can see, the ZD Toys box has a very small form factor. In fact, if we were to compare it to something similar, which is the King Arts box, you can see a huge size difference. Now, some would call this a 1/9 scale, but I would think it's more closer to a 1/10 scale. But similar to King Arts, which is 1/9, the box has a huge difference. Now, if we were to compare something a bit more familiar, like the Hot Toys Diecast Mark III box, as you can see, huge difference. However, having said that, I am still impressed with the packaging. Now, this is only 50 USD shipped. I got it for around that price. And the box itself is made pretty well. Good quality materials all around. Without further ado, let's just jump and unbox this piece. As you can see, the box art looks pretty nice. Love the colors, very vibrant. Even this red is very vibrant. If I had to nitpick on anything, I would say the wordings do make it look a bit cheap. I think they could have done without it. And on the bottom here, you notice there's kind of a seal of authenticity. So that's pretty cool. Now, moving back to the front of the box, love the fact that you can actually open it up, right, to reveal the Iron Man open chest plate. And this part here, this cover is actually magnetized. So once you close it, kinds of clips in place. So this shows that all these toy companies, they can actually put some effort into their packaging. And I love the fact that they've gone out of the way to do this actually, right? So opening up, the experience is great. And once you pull it out, it reveals the figure itself. So as you can see, this is the figure, right? Everything's kind of wrapped in plastic. It comes in two layers. The bottom layer is the accessory. So as you can see, if we look closely, you've got the various repulsor hands here. You've got the effects, but no articulated palms here, right? So just the stand and a few hands and a few of the detailing. Now moving on to the figure again. Let's have a look at it. So the unboxing experience, pretty standard. I like to believe the boxes, material wise, feels very much like the King Arts box. However, bit of a challenge to get in there. Alright, so that's the figure itself. So now let's look into the detailing itself. I like to say the color app is pretty good. They take on a slightly darker approach for the paint app. It's a bit more dark cherry red. It's more of the following the Hot Toys Mark III, but I would say a bit darker. But overall, you can see the detailing is pretty good, pretty fine finish. There are not much defects, minor defects here and there, very tiny, right, as you can see. And if we move on to the back, everything still looks pretty good. I must say, for the price, this is pretty impressive. Detailing is good, and I can say this is far better than a lot of the others ones we can get today available in the market. Alright, so now let's talk about articulation. So as you can see, I tried to do the iconic landing pose but failed miserably. Maybe you guys will have better luck. But the reason I stopped is I realized the paint gets chipped off very easily. So just by moving the arms a bit, I already chipped off a bit of the paint on the side, so I didn't want to try my luck any further. But one other thing to also note that the palms there are no articulated palms, so all the palms are either closed, open, but you cannot adjust them. So those are things to take into account. Now let's do a quick size comparison. So I know some places it was marketed as a 1/9 scale figure, but there are also some other places that marketed it as a 1/10 scale. So the quickest comparison we can do is probably to the King Arts, which is an actual 1/9 scale. So as you can see, it is definitely not 1/9 scale. In fact, I think it's closer to the RE Edit Sentinel line. So this is the RE Edit Mark 50, the comic version. So as you can see, it is a much closer comparison. So it's definitely not 1/9 scale. Right? Now, just for the sake of comparing, let's compare it to the Hot Toys version, which is actually a 1/6 scale. Yow! Huge difference. Now for the things I don't like about the figure. So first is the paint app. Though the paint app is good, it kind of chips a bit too easily. So just as I was moving this arm part here, I've already chipped out the sides of it. So not too happy with that. Number 2 is the articulation itself. So some parts are pretty loose like this, as you can see. I'm just kicking it and it kind of drops. But some parts are a bit too tight, like this arm itself. As you can see, I'm struggling just to move it. Next, the palms itself. I do wish they actually gave some articulated palms, but all the palms are kind of fixed in its position. On top of that also, I find something is wrong with the headscarf. I can't quite pinpoint what exactly, but it feels a bit off. But maybe that's just me. And finally, probably the box itself. So the box overall looks good, but not a big fan of the writing. So you get this figure. My answer is definitely. Remember, it's only 50 USD and a lot of the shortcomings become negligible due to the price point itself. Now, because it's so cheap, you can't expect a perfect figure, but they do a lot to make it pretty good. Now, if I were to give it a rating over 10, I would say 8.5. Add it to your collection, why not? It's only 50 USD compared to the other lines which are easily 10 times the price of this guy. So that brings us to the end of this video. I do hope you like this quick review of this figure, and quick shout out to SM Collectors for helping me promote this video. And if you like what you see, do click like and subscribe to my videos. And with that, keep collecting, and I'll see you in my next video.